So before Yanni, we get into the final segment, I have added this new segment in this season of the podcast. I call it Know Your Host, where I
Mm-hmm.
give my guests an opportunity to ask me any question they might have.
Okay, so
No tough questions, please.
how was your immigration journey from India? Is that right to
Yeah.
Canada? Did you come first? Did you come straight from India to Canada, or did you have any stops in between? And how was the cultural shock, if there was any? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about
Mhm.
your experience moving from India to Canada?
Yeah, great question. It might have a long answer, but I'll try to sum it up quickly. Like you were telling me, it's going to take a long time, but I'll sum it
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
So I came directly from India.
Mm-hmm.
I finished my bachelor's in India. I was 21. I just turned 22, I believe, when I came to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Very pampered, very naive initially, and hadn't lived anywhere around the world apart
Mm-hmm.
from my own city. In fact, I haven't even moved to another city altogether. Never
Oh
did
wow.
that.
Okay. Okay.
So moved directly here, and initial days obviously a little bit of time to get accustomed to each other's accents because that was my very first culture shock because whole my life I thought I had a very good command over the English language
Mm-hmm.
until I came to Canada and I'm talking and people are not even understanding me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
even heard in the classroom, not with the intent
Mm,
of people ignoring me, but they were just not able to understand my
mm,
accent somehow or the other.
mm, mhm,
So I think that took a little bit of time. That kind of definitely it hit my confidence. I got very quiet and shy, even though I'm not.
mhm,
I refused to kind of put my thoughts out or kind of participate in certain activities in the class because I had this again I had this notion that okay, they're not even understanding me. What's the fun of even saying anything? So that's
mm,
where it got hit. But I think eventually then we got a bit accustomed to each other's accents and we understood each other's sort of like personalities also, right?
mhm,
Because a lot of people hadn't ever seen a turban wearing person in their life. They didn't even know
mm,
about my religion. I wouldn't be shocked if you might also not know, like at the age
mm,
of 19 or 20, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
most of my classmates were around the same age of mine and they weren't
mhm,
even aware of my religion, and
mhm,
they were always sort of questioning, not directly, but I could see in their eyes or in their sort of non-verbal, a little bit of reluctance to kind of integrate and know more about me. But I think eventually I realized that I think I had to build that comfort level with the people. So I did that. And by asking them the questions about their culture, about themselves, about their
mm,
immigration, if somebody has moved as an immigrant, or even their
mm,
upbringing if they are natives, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
that allowed me to have that dialogue with them and tell them more about me and the colors of my turban. And then eventually, I think things went pretty good. It took me a little bit of time, like I
mm,
said, to get assimilate within the culture and understand that how the kind of things I need to unlearn, which are not serving me any more in this part of the world, and what all
mhm,
new things I have to learn to survive in this new world, because I'm trying to live a life in a world where life has never existed before, right?
mhm,
So long story short, I think I graduated, and that's where the actual life started, and got exposed to people outside of the classroom because the challenges within classrooms are very linear, so to
mhm,
say. But then
mhm,
when you're outside, things kind of go haywire, and then the whole pressure of immigration, collecting the right points, collecting the
mhm,
points for PR, finding the right
mhm,
job, and etc
mhm,
etc kind of kicks in.
mhm,
And but everything eventually works out, and it all made me more resilient for sure. Very very grateful for the people I have met throughout my journey, and yeah, and I think I'm trying to pay it forward, so to say, through my podcast, bringing
mhm,
forth these stories of immigrants, instilling that hope and will in people that hey, if he or she can do it, you can do it as well. Yeah.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Right, right. So, and when you talk about home, then and feeling at home, so would you say that you feel at home, and also, I guess, the notion of belonging also is included in that. So, do you feel like now
Yeah.
you belong more, and do you feel like home is here in Canada, in Montreal, or
Um,
what are your thoughts
Yeah,
there?
that's a great question. And that has been ongoing discussion throughout my conversations with my friends and family as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
as an immigrant, you are kind of somewhere, you're like in the limbo, right? You're not fully either way. I've said this like multiple times on the podcast that I'm like too Canadian for Indians and I'm like too Indian for Canadians. I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like in the middle somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But deep inside, I have actually understood this, Yannick, that home is where the people are actually. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I would define it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where you are, as long as
Mm-hmm.
you have the people with you who are loving you, who genuinely
Mm-hmm.
care for you,
Mm-hmm.
and who are there in your ups and downs. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where the home is. I would say the home is through the people you live with. Although I still feel like I'm yet to find my true family here, but I still am extremely grateful for the people like you also, so to say, right? Because you're also
Mm-hmm.
sharing your story and kind of bringing me into the understanding of that we all are here for each other, right? So this is also
Absolutely.
the family I have built. So
Yes,
yeah, I
yes,
think
absolutely.
my short answer is, home is where the people you love are. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I
yeah,
love it. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
Yes.
No, thank you for the questions. Always fascinated how my brain works and people kind of shoot these questions at me, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you for answering.
Yannick, now you're in the final segment of the podcast. I call it Beneath the Accent. I'm going
Hmm.
to ask a couple of questions. You can answer them in one word or a
Hmm.
sentence or howsoever you feel like. The
Hmm.
idea is just to know a little bit more about you. So,
Okay,
ready?
sure, sure. Yes, let's go.
So, the first is, what advice would you give to your younger self and at what age?
Advice I would give to my younger self, I would say stay the same. Don't change anything.
Okay. What would you like to say to your 60-year-old self?
I would say I hope you're happy with the choice that your younger self has made.
Okay. Describe a moment when you experienced a significant cultural difference that surprised you.
Definitely, I would say in Atlanta, Georgia,
Mhm.
I had a white girlfriend at the time, and she came to
Mhm.
visit me in my where I was living because it was a predominantly black neighborhood. It made me uncomfortable, the way they just looked at her and really, despised her. I mean, it's like they've never seen, I guess, an interracial couple before in their
I
lives.
see.
It was almost like surreal to them, right? And that kind of reflected in their looks. Coming from France again, which was, like I said, much more multicultural than that.
Okay. What's the one dish from your home country that always brings you comfort and nostalgia?
Plantains. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bring in nostalgia because I can access them here. So, so
Okay.
yeah.
But it kind of reminds you of your heritage, right?
Oh,
Like
definitely,
bringing, yeah,
definitely. That
yeah,
is definitely that. Yeah, the
yeah.
plantains. Yes,
I was also reading that it's like a side dish for anything,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. You can literally,
Yeah.
it's like fries here. You can eat them with
Hmm.
everything that you like. Fish, chicken, anything. Yeah.
So, since Yannick, you've lived like all around continents, what's your favorite cultural festival or celebration that you have come across? And do you actually celebrate it then?
One festival, a Cameroonian festival, actually. Never experienced it physically, but my dad was kind of like one of the organizers of it at some point, and I've
Hmm.
always heard about it. It's called it happens every year in December in Cameroon. The tribe from which my parents are like the water tribe, right? They close to the water, so there's all those celebrations around the water, and then so it's called like it's almost like a water festival.
Okay.
And so there are a lot of activities around that, like races, fighting, a lot of and food degustation, a lot of good things that are happening in that time of the year. And
What's it called?
it's called the Ngondo, Ngondo, the,
Okay.
the the Ngondo Festival. And so this is one of the festival that like I said, I've been exposed to,
Hmm.
not physically, but I've always wanted to, be part of it. And also, that's another fun fact also about Cameroon. There's plenty of festival like this, depending on
Hmm.
the tribe and the different cultures, and along, I mean, around all year round, there are different activities like that that are actually celebrating the culture. And
Okay.
so that's one. But you asked me for one, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
One. Okay.
Mhm.
Share a quick tip for fellow immigrants who are trying to adjust in a new country.
Remember that you have something to bring to the country.
Hmm.
I'm asked this question, I always try to get people to remember the so-called soft skills.
Okay.
right? That we those soft skills, and that I believe as immigrant and people from the global south,
Hmm.
we almost inherit them in our culture, because I've been around a lot of people from different
Hmm.
culture in the south, and you see a lot of commonalities as far as some of those values that I was talking to you about, hospitality
Absolutely.
and solidarity, and just respect for the elders, and just behaving in a certain way when you're in public and treating the other. So because those societies are collectivist societies, as opposed to here in Canada or in the West, that are individualistic societies.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those skills that you have to bring, treat them as a gift that you are going to share with your host communities,
Yeah.
and use every opportunity to share those gifts with them. If you have that mindset of always trying to create this sort of like exchange, cultural exchange, then I think you'll be good. The journey will become easier and easier.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
since you spend most of your time in London, tell me about a friend that you made there, and are you still in connect?
I guess it's much more than a friend. I mean, I
Hmm.
think it's actually a lady who was uh, one of the leaders at the church that we attended. My family and I, my wife
Okay.
and my sister and I, and over the years, she became also she almost became like a mother to me, like a second mother, right?
I love that.
And we're still in touch today. She's a senior citizen, obviously, but yeah, but there's like this very deep affection and love for her, So yeah, when you talk to me, when you ask me about a friend, immediately my mind went to her. I mean, I don't know how
To
that's
her.
the first picture that I saw,
Hmm.
and because yeah, she's more, but she's much more than a friend. She's almost like a mother to me.
Okay. What's something you ate for the first time in Canada, and did you like it?
Again, when I mean we talked about Timbits, Tim Hortons earlier.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that it's, I mean that's where my mind goes to Tim Hortons,
Hmm.
or
Okay.
either Tim Hortons or the other restaurant is High Hop. It's they do pancakes and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Okay. If you could describe yourself as any creature, what would it be and why?
A creature. It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. Just like now, because I mean, I'm actually talking to one of our common friend, Andrea,
Oh, okay.
yeah, about the project that I don't want to say too much about it
Okay.
now, but it's like a project that we are working on right now. The symbol of that project is the hummingbird,
Okay.
and that's how I see myself, because there's a legend. It's a native's legend. One day there was a big fire in the forest. All the animals were just trying to run away as fast as possible from that forest fire. All the animals but one, and it was the hummingbird. And the
Mm.
hummingbird started to collect some water and
Hmm.
started dipping the water on the fire. And then when the
Okay.
other animals say to him, why are you doing that? There's like such a big fire, and what are you gonna do? And then the hummingbird said, I'm just doing my part. I'm just doing my part.
Hmm.
All right.
I love that.
So yeah, so there could be a fire of hate, a fire of fear of the other, but you know, we all have to just, as long as we all do our part, then we never know what our part, how much of a long way the fact of doing our part will just take us in getting rid of the fire. So
Hmm.
for that, I would say definitely I'm a hummingbird.
Yeah.
And like I
I love
said,
that.
yeah, thank you. And like I said, there's a project coming around the corner.
Hmm. I'm looking forward to that. Great. And if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, one superpower. No, I mean, I think I already have my superpower, and my
Mm,
superpower is my uniqueness. It's a superpower. My cultural uniqueness is a
absolutely.
superpower. It's a superpower, and then like you told me in your quote that you just shared with me earlier, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it is
absolutely.
something to be shared and to be shared with others as a gift, and that I think that as we go along, I mean, we realize that there's more people who are envying that gift
Yeah,
than rejecting it. So yeah, so I already have
yeah,
it. I already have it. My
yeah.
superpower.
So, since you do like making documentaries, is there
Mhm.
any topic at this moment that you would like to make a documentary on?
I guess just continue the conversation on what we just discussed today, which is who is the immigrant and what is someone who has an accent, and all those everything that we just talked about today. I
Hmm.
mean, if I had a chance and opportunity to take it further as a documentary, then yeah, I would definitely love it. And in fact, it's also another project that is kind of like in the pipeline right now with the Greater Association of I mean the Victoria-based association that I'm working with,
Yeah,
the Intercultural Association of Greater Victoria. I mean, we are just in discussion also with about that, about making maybe a possible documentary which is going to be on immigration, and just yeah, just all those topics, but just continue the discussion, because obviously the podcasting is I like the podcasting because obviously
yeah,
you take the time to discuss with the guest and go deeper, but the documentary also has another layer to the conversation, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And also
these
the
are
long form, right? You can do a
yes.
lot with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, absolutely.
So finally, Yannick, describe Canada in one word or a sentence.
There are two words that are coming to me:
Go ahead, share two.
welcoming and embracing. Welcoming and
Okay.
embracing. Yeah, welcoming and embracing. That's my experience, at least. The circles that I've navigated so far, they have been very welcoming to me as this unique and complex person, right? And
Mm,
but the thing is, I don't want to mislead people. I guess what I want to say is that in order for it to be welcoming, one has to be the most authentic that it can be, because people will respond to your authenticity and to your uniqueness. Yeah, I guess that would be the best way to
mm.
describe it. You know.
How I'm interpreting is like it's welcoming towards all kinds of people and cultures and also allows you to embrace who you
Mhm.
are.
Yes,
Mm,
yes, but I think I would take it a little bit deeper,
mm.
because you might have people who would say, okay, that's not my experience, right? Because I'm different,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? I of a different culture, but I haven't experienced that. To me, I believe the reason why it's been so welcoming to me is because I've been able to show a version of myself that is the most authentic and unique.
Absolutely.
But then the problem is, what happened to your unique self and your authentic self if the first encounter that you have kind of like make you lose your voice, right? Because of your accent, because of the way you look. So if after your first encounter you're afraid to show your uniqueness and your most authentic
Hmm.
self, then the welcoming is not going to happen. The gap between the welcoming part, our first arrival or our rejection, to become authentic again and to be unique again and to
Yeah.
express it again, because people will
Absolutely.
respond
Yeah.
to that. People will respond to who you are, the truest version of yourself, right? That's
Yeah.
what people respond to, and they will welcome that.
It's definitely a journey
Uh huh.
from being misunderstood and not being welcomed, but
Mm-hmm,
to the point of really understanding that okay, I need to be my true self and
mm-hmm,
not change myself to try to become somebody else.
mm-hmm. Absolutely,
That's the journey
absolutely.
that one has to go through, and always doesn't happen like overnight.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It takes time and a lot of
mm-hmm,
introspection for sure.
mm-hmm,
But Yannick, if you could leave me with one piece of advice, what
Mhm.
would it be?
Oh man, I mean, it's difficult because you're already doing like I mean, I really do admire what you do, your work, and so I don't know if there's much that I can say to you, brother. There's not this much that I can. I think you're doing well. I guess the only thing that I can say to you is just yeah, keep being you. Keep doing your thing, and uh, I'm pretty sure that there have been times when you doubted yourself. You felt like maybe what's the reason of doing this, and are people
Yeah.
even listening to me? And but yeah, but I mean, if there was just one advice, I would just say, I mean, no, you have an audience, and yeah, and you just have to keep it moving and keep going, and we need you. We need your voice. We need your voice. So yeah, so keep it up, and you have us here, and we'll also do our best to share it around, among our networks and support you in any way that we can, and yeah, and yes, I mean, I feel like I feel like I've known you for forever because we have like a very deep connection, and you already feel like a brother to me. When I was when I was telling you about my tribe, so you definitely a member of the tribe, and yeah, and so we're there to support you. So keep being you, and keep sharing your gift with the world, brother.
Yeah.
Keep
Well,
sharing
I'm
your gift
humble.
with the
I'm
world.
humbled by your kind words. Thank you so much. And if people are listening, please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. And how, Yannick,
Yeah.
you would describe your experience being on the podcast today?
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was free flowing, conversation, and yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Just going back and forth like that. Typically, I'm the person. I mean, we kind of switch roles today. I mean,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I'd rather interview people than being put on the spotlight. This is just my natural kind of instinct, right? So
Yeah.
I always find it, or I prefer being the one who interviews, but yeah, but it was a joy to just have that conversation with you today, and yeah, thank you again for having me, and it
Yeah.
was really a pleasure to be here.
No, thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for being on the podcast and adding
Mhm.
value to me and to my listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Guru Asish.
Yes. Or you know how you taught me in the beginning? Nasim. Nasum, right?
Nasum,
Nasum.
yeah, Nasum, yes.
I remember that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.